Good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Sauvage Patriots. We have everybody here today. We got a
I
full,
know. It's been
It's
a
full
full
house.
house, which is kind of neat. We ain't had a full
Yeah.
house for a minute yet. Last week we were all short staffed.
I know.
Yep.
But we're back and we get Facebook up and running here because you know how they always behind. Thank you,
You know
Max.
how to be.
Thank you, Mr. Zuckerberg. Um, in any case, we're here to talk about the WEF, LMNOP, HIJK, all them people.
It's always
Um,
the alphabet stuff.
Always,
Yeah, right.
always.
Man, three-letter agency. What is up with them? You know,
Wonk, 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 wonk.
and the
Always the
cabal
three letters.
cesspool. It's where Draconians go to make out.
The Draconians.
Literally.
So
Yeah.
we are going to look at
Well,
two
those are
things here that happened on that venture.
Mm.
One was the crowning of Klaus Schwab with some kind of robe and some nonsense on him, and then a shamanic kind of
Initiatory.
ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
and it's by Indians, not Indians, but Indians. Okay,
Oh, okay.
Casino.
Like a literal
Not
like
not
a literal,
convenience store.
yeah, yeah.
casino, not tech support. Okay.
There you go, casino, not tech support.
You're welcome for that one. There you go.
I would have said convenience store, but you know.
Oh,
whatever.
It's funnier for
7-Eleven.
tech support though. Like it's
Look
just
at
funnier
That's
somehow.
true.
We're talking about 7-Eleven, not 11-7. Okay,
Because like the 7-Eleven is already like outdated, right? Like that's already done.
Biden.
But tech
No.
support, that's more current,
not to Biden. As long as you have
Yeah,
an Indian
yeah.
accent, you'll be good to go.
right?
That's
I
right.
mean, I guess you could trade it out for call center or like scam callers. Like that would be the other one. But
The Ragers are the favorite ones. I
Yeah.
love those guys. So just watch carefully. It's not that long. It's only a couple of seconds long, but long enough for you to get the gist of what's going on. Now, this is true. See, there's a W world. Is it WEF? Okay, 17th. Okay, just so you know. Here you
Yeah.
go. Watch, folks. Enjoy.
Atu macaya nu na bukan mahu anu di bukan ma
That's not from me. That's cold.
She's up there giving out this index.
So hold on. I thought COVID was a thing.
Yeah, me too.
No.
Yeah.
I know, right? I was thinking to myself, like, what if somebody did that during COVID? It'd be like, why would you let her do that? It's like,
I
The
thought
shamans
remember-
not getting?
Remember
didn't they say
COVID,
there's a new strand on the
Yeah,
disease
disease X.
That's
Oh.
disease X. That's
yeah,
it
that's
right
how
there.
disease X started.
Oh
no, disease X is going to be what the Chinese just cooked up in a lab where it has 100% kill rate in mice. Humanized mice, by
sorry.
the way.
I'm
Humanized
sorry.
mice.
I'm sorry, Jay. What was you saying?
I was just gonna say like I mean Bill Gates was there. He was drinking that stuff up. Like
We know what he was drinking.
Mm-hmm.
They got disease XXO or XOXO is what that was because she was
Oh.
kissing one head.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
Oh.
So what was that? What was that supposed to be? Like a prayer over him or something? What? Well,
Maybe it was like a
It-
cleansing ceremony.
Yeah, it's
by coughing on people.
so it's a spiritual ceremony done by a shaman, right? So instead of like coming in there with one religion and trying to
Mm.
recognize all religions, they just did a shaman spiritual ceremony.
huh.
The only thing funnier about that was if she was like had a bowl of salt and was just like salting one, and then one of them just fell down and started convulsing. Out your demons! And just that whole thing going
The
down.
demons ain't gonna cast out demons, though, unfortunately for them. And here is the crowning, the coup de grace. Ready? Here we go.
Oh man. Oh yeah, it's the
Look, it's Voldemort.
Members of Senate and Council, faculty, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to stand here and to be bestowed with this honorary doctorate.
Oh my god!
I mean, I love this season's Rider of Earth because like you could not come up with a better Bond villain than Klaus Schwab with that robe. I mean, seriously.
What is
Like
that?
they're not even hiding the secret ceremonies anymore. We're just gonna do it at a forum for
public.
everybody to see.
Out in the
They're
open.
gonna, gonna do the Bohemian Grove in the middle of New
Yeah.
York next. Just
We are here to talk about the world climate. There are too many people.
There's 307 billion Americans. No, it's only 7. 7 billion people on Earth.
What if I told you the WEF is your god? Unlimited power.
That's what they want, man.
Wow.
That's
trippy.
Yeah.
Isn't Klaus Schwab a financier?
Yes.
So
He's just like Soros.
So,
Mhm.
but he's not an elected official at all.
No.
Not elected, not anything. No.
So you have a bunch of billionaires who profit from capitalism, decrying how capitalism is evil.
Mm-hmm.
In a forum with other billionaires who are decrying how capitalism is evil and we're causing climate change based on the companies they run. Yeah.
Well,
that's how the WE
planes to and from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of climate change, real fast, did you know that there are flowers growing on Antarctica, and they blame it? Guess what they blamed it on? Guess what they said?
Climate change.
COVID.
Climate change.
Yeah.
Climate change. That's the reason flowers are growing on Antarctica.
Yeah. Climate change.
Yeah. Climate change.
Because
I mean,
the Earth has never changed at any point in time in history.
Yeah,
It's always been exactly the same.
The same.
It's funny to me how these are not elected officials, but they're the ones that are trying to make these decisions that encroach upon your and I's individual liberties. Like what I heard an economist talk about how we need to up the ante on censoring free speech on these social media platforms. An economist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for somebody to just shoot the jester. That's it. You know, because like that's how you know free speech is done and tyranny is here. Is like they just straight up shoot the jester. That's what it is, or stab him in the case of the royal courts, right? So we're almost in that phase. We're just not quite there yet.
Yeah, it happens because we allow it to happen as taxpayers, as citizens around the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This is why stuff like this happens, because they have the freedom to do it, and no one's going to say anything to them, and we're all guilty of it.
I want to hear his whole speech here.
Yes, please.
And that's what I'm going to try and bring up here, because I think it's efficient for us to, or good for us to see it. Because if we don't, we could be falling the okie doke, like they like to say. Obama like to say okie doke.
Mm-hmm. I got a clip for you too.
About the WF.
Uh-huh. He's fun. You know how they hate people.
I mean, they had Bill Gates on there. He wants to depopulate
The
the
year
Earth,
ahead
so.
will deliver important outcomes of collaboration between business and governments. I'm now very pleased to introduce our founder and executive chairman, Professor Schwab. Dear Klaus, the floor is yours.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
Madam President, dear constituents of the World Economic Forum, dear friends. Today we stand really at a unique juncture in human history, facing challenges that are as diverse as they are profound. The special role of the World Economic Forum is not to look just at one single issue. It is a place where at the beginning of the year, we come together to analyze the state of the world in a systemic and strategic way, and hopefully to find common ground to generate positive impact.
The question is, who asked you to do it?
Yeah, right.
Like, okay, who asked you? I mean, people, okay, in general, good. But who specifically asked you to do anything? Like, I don't get how you got hired to do this job. Like,
No.
and ain't even an opening for it. You just, created the job and sat there. Like,
Yeah, he created it right after COVID. I think it was in 2017 the WEF came on the scene.
Yeah.
Or right before COVID, I'm sorry. So right around that time.
what was that video you had there, Coy? Where'd you go?
Oh, sorry. I was I was trying to look for more while we were listening to the personification of evil, because like I you cannot pick a character who sounds more evil than Klaus Schwab talking.
He's got it down.
Sounds
So
like a Bond villain.
I want you to listen to this and react to it and tell me what you think, because like these people hate you, and this is proof that they do.
I mean, ecocide as a word is becoming better known around the world, and the concept is generally mass damage and destruction of nature. But legally speaking, what our organisation and other collaborators aim to do is to have this recognised legally as a serious crime. Because one of the issues that sort of pervades all of this discussion is that we have a kind of cultural, very ingrained habit of not taking damage to nature as seriously as we take damage to people and property. And that, I mean, you know, if you're campaigning for human rights, at least you know mass murder, torture, all of these things are serious crimes. But there's no equivalent in the environmental space. And so, you know, unlike an international crime like genocide that involves a specific intent, with ecocide, what we see is actually what people are trying to do, what businesses are trying to do, is make money, is farm, is fish, is do all of these things that are, you know, producing energy and so on, as well. But what's missing is the awareness and the conscience around the side effects, around the collateral damage that happens with that.
I have a question.
Fishing and farming. That's what she specifically mentioned.
I have a question though. Like she's talking about ecocide and the detrimental effects of bringing justice to the environment. But if you plant monocrops, you're literally genociding a whole slew of ecosystems. Like
yes.
Okay, a question. What was her hair colored?
I don't think it was.
No, it was brown.
No, it was no.
It was
like
brown
it's salt and pepper.
and white. It was brown and white.
Salt and
But
pepper.
the thing is that they have rules for everything that she's talking about. You can't just, people think you could just go and fish just to fish and catch as many fish as you want to. No, there are rules to the system. You know, these fishermen can only go out and do so much and catch so much. And when you go to these private lakes and these private ponds, you know, they control how much you can catch. They keep the population of fish up, and you only can catch a certain amount of fish at a certain season, or hunt a certain animal in a certain season, this, that, and the other. You can't cut down certain trees. So we have all these things in place. Who's destroying our environment are people like them, with their bombs and their poisons and everything else that they're putting into our ecosystems. They're doing it, but they're blaming it on us when we don't do stuff like that. Are Americans messy, or citizens messy? Yeah. Do they throw trash everywhere? Yeah, of course. I have a problem with that. But when it comes to actual poisoning our environment, that's including citizens.
Yeah.
It's these people that are doing it.
You ready for something? I think is where we are right now, and people might laugh, but I bet you can't tell me it's not where we are. I'm betting you money right now you won't be able to tell me that this is not where we are. Listen carefully.
Oh, we're being repressed. Yeah. God, I love that.
You know, it's that whole thing of blame people for exactly, you know, that term. Blame people for exactly. Blame the other side exactly the thing for exactly the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And this is what they're doing. They're dumping stuff. They're dumping stuff in our oceans, killing tons of sea animals. They're poisoning everything. They're poisoning our waters with fluoride. So everything she's saying that they want to control, they're doing.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Like you said, these are the people that are doing the exact same thing that they're wanting to control people of. Like here, I want to play this clip, and I'm going to talk about what I was going to say, because it involves the same thing of what's going to be happening.
We're developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on.
So they want to make sure they can control your carbon footprint. But old Greta Thunberg and her infinite dumbness is always going around in private jets and jetting off across the world to speak about climate change, while they're using the things that cause the more climate carbon footprint than any individual person they're trying to tell to stop causing carbon footprint, right? They want to erase your existence because there are too many people. That's what it really comes down to, is that carbon footprint is bad because we have too many people. So we need to eliminate the sources of those things, which include food, safety,
I mean,
electricity, gas, and all the other things.
the sheer audacity of this guy literally saying we're going to try and track what you eat.
Yep.
And that's insane to me. And when they talk about carbon footprint, these are the same people that have multiple mansions across the globe. These are the same people that have bunkers built underground using CO2 emissions and everything, building, digging, and everything else. They have huge carbon footprints. If they want to talk about a carbon footprint, your average citizen doesn't have a carbon footprint that even comes close to what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hey, if we were to push for equality, like actual equality, could we probably just, in the name of equality, no,
Sorry.
but
kindness, Jesus.
Y'all audience members got it wrong. No. Couldn't we just, like, I don't know, take a mansion, divvy up the funds from that mansion, and just pass it around? I mean, that's equality, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we can't do that.
No,
we need to though.
we should.
I want to hear this one portion here because that seemed interesting.
Okay.
This narrative isn't about short-term gains or individual successes. It is about stewardship, about preserving and enhancing our world for current and future generations.
I hope you all caught that part. Did y'all catch that? I'm gonna back it up just a bit because I think it's vital you hear what he just said.
This narrative isn't about short-term gains or individual successes. It is about stewardship, about preserving and enhancing our world for current and future generations. It is about understanding that our actions today have far-reaching consequences tomorrow. The concept of trust and trusteeship compels us to think beyond borders and beyond our lifetimes. It encourages collaboration over competition, sustainability over expediency, and empathy over apathy.
Such buzzwords, like.
So it's not about
I
you.
know, right?
It's not about the individual at all.
No.
Just so you know. Okay.
It's about the
Individual rights are
global
gone.
collective.
What were you going to say, Jay? You said pause.
No, I was just gonna say, like the buzzwords is thick with this German guy.
Mhm.
Oh yes,
Like-
yes.
Like it's all the woke talking points of sustainability and
The wokeness
empathy.
is strong with this one.
Yeah.
And this is how these people, they don't think people like us remember the things that they've done. And we can go back to, the CV 19, right? He talks about empathy. You weren't very empathetic when you were shutting down people's businesses.
Right.
You weren't very empathetic when people weren't allowed to go to old folks' homes and see their parents and their old parents and grandparents before they passed away. You weren't very empathetic then, but now you're screaming empathy.
Mm-hmm. Or the fact that they hid all the things that COVID was doing and has done, and all the research that went into certain things that came about, and how Anthony Fauci was hiding a lot of that information. But no, we'll forget about all that.
They'll forget that. We'll just have a Super Bowl for them.
It's not sustainable to remember those facts there, Coy.
One of the things he said is, like, it's for future generations. Whose future generations? Because I know you're not talking about us.
Theirs.
The other ones.
Yeah, they're people. So
They're
here,
people.
listen to this nonsense.
The good news is the elite across the world trust each other more and more.
Whoa,
So we can
stop.
come together.
Nope.
Hold on a second there.
I missed it.
Whoa.
All right, I'll rewind the tape back for you. Okay, here.
Marlon did not know that quickness.
I wasn't ready.
You started again. I was not ready. I was not prepped for what she just said. That one came like,
I told you.
Down. Did I hear the word elite?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard this. I heard
Hold
it.
on. Let me. I got it. I didn't hear it.
Okay, so
just
I'll play
wait.
it. I'll play it again.
Please.
Okay,
Thank
here you go. Here you go. Ready? Everybody ready? You're prepared
Yes,
this
we're
time.
ready now.
All right.
The good news is the elite across the world trust each other more and more, so we can come together and design and do beautiful things together. The bad news is that in every single country they were polling, the majority of people trusted that elite less. So we can
I
lead,
wonder
but
why.
if people aren't following, we're not going to get to where we want to go.
Okay, so wait a minute. So if I'm listening to this broad correctly, in order for us to succeed properly, and don't mind the Asian guy wearing a mask, me being a peon, peasant, I have to trust the elites of my country in order for my success to be viable.
Yes.
She did not just say that, bro. That there's no way you can convince me that just came out of her mouth. And she said that boldly and happily. And no,
it's the bona fide arrogance.
She said the elite across the world trust each other. Correct.
Yes.
Why are people across the world blowing each other up in wars if the elite trusted each other? We wouldn't have any war if the elite trusted each other.
Because we, the non-elite, are not trusting the elites. That's why.
Yeah.
Why should we?
Because there's still people that aren't in the club, and we have to blow up the people that are not in the club.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on.
All right. Here go on.
She just said that out loud.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So the tail end of what she said is what's really hanging me up right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with the elites trusting each other because they have to make things work for them. Now, to your point, bro, if they're fighting because the elite do agree with each other that they need to have wars to take out the peons. I think they do agree with each other, and they do trust each other. But that last part, if you can back it up to about where her lapel thingy is.
Yeah, here we go.
Right about there. Yeah. Play that.
They were polling, the majority of people trusted that elite less.
Yeah.
So we can lead, but if people aren't following, we're not going to get to where we want to go.
Okay. So I want to make sure I get this right. You want people to trust the elite like you trust each other. And when you polled people, they didn't want to trust you.
Yes.
But for where you want to go, not them, where you want to take the world, you need them to follow you, and they're not following.
Yeah.
So if people don't want to follow you, you think you have to find a way to convince them to follow.
Or force them, which is why we have social credit scores.
Yeah. So again, Miss Lady, we don't. Okay, first of all, y'all trust each other. At least you say you trust each other. You trust each other because you have mutual goals.
Yeah.
We don't trust you because we don't share mutual goals, and there's nothing you can offer the people who don't like you to make us come back and say, yeah, let's work together. If we don't like you, we have the right to say, screw off, you absolute bat crazy woman. We can say that because that's what we believe. And there's nothing you can do to make us want to be a part of what you do. I don't get how you can sit there and say they don't trust us and we can't get done what we want done because they don't trust us. But then maybe don't do what you are trying to do, because it's not going to work.
I honestly wish George Carlin was still alive, because the amount of jokes that he would get out of all of this has been happening, especially since 2020 and so onward. There's an interview where he talked about this. Is like, the elite don't need to have a cabal in order to get plans done, because they all have the same interests. They went to the same schools, they go to the same parties, they have the same friends. If you have all like-minded self-interests, things just happen to align that look like a cabal and a conspiracy. Sometimes there is a conspiracy, but sometimes there's not. It's just because all of the self-interests come together. And that's what the WEF ultimately is a bunch of self-interested pricks coming together in synergy.
That look,
it's synergizing.
That look says everything.
I mean, that
look says everything.
I would also venture to say that on the flip side, the underlying the unspoken is, y'all better follow, you peasants better follow us in order for there to be progress.
follow
exactly
her
how,
else.
You're right.
So
yeah.
exactly how they look at us.
So then we need to be like the French in Monty Python.
Yeah.
Your mother smells of elderberries. We can do that. Your father was a pig, and your mother smells of elderberries. You know, we could take that approach and just launch animals at them. You know, I'm confused as to how people don't see this, but at the same time, I do understand how people don't see it, and here's why I understand why. The WEF and the EU, all of them have made just be honest, okay? They have good sales per people.
Yeah.
They know how to market their message, they know how to push their agenda, and they know how to sell people.
Yep.
So it's not fully surprising that they can get this messaging out. They have the money, they have the means, and they have the production. What I don't understand is how you can see them saying one thing, doing another, and still hoping that they're on your side. I don't get how that works out to people. But when you look at, okay, let's go back to the first video with the shaman lady. Okay, they say that, and they did this all last year. You put the thing on your face, the diaper. You keep 6 feet. You get to the podium. You take it off. You leave the podium. You put it on. But here you have a woman with whatever powder or dust she has in her hand, and not just rubbing something on you, but going up to your face and coughing on you. And you want us to believe that somehow the next rules you're going to put in place to tell us not to do that to our grandparents and to our mothers and fathers, that we should just say, they're right. I think I shouldn't go see and hug my family because I might get them sick. Meanwhile, you're over there with a woman who is coughing directly into your forehead where they checked your temperature, after coughing into her hand and putting it on your head, then coughing in your face. That somehow, okay.
And smiling while she's doing it too. Like, give it to me, baby.
Right. That's
problem-
why I'm over here twirling my mustache so I can look as evil as possible. Right. You know?
The problem with a lot of the problem with a lot of these elitists is that they think in the collective, right? And they think that all the citizens think in the collective. Though there are collective things out there that we all can agree on, that collectively we agree collectively on this. Our whole life doesn't wrap around collectivism, right? So I don't wake up in the morning, pay my bills, and be like, I wonder if my neighbor's light bill is paid. You know, let me go over and ask them. We don't think like them. They think in the collective. They think because these people don't want to eat
good point.
meat, the whole world doesn't want to eat meat. Because these people want this over here, the whole world wants this. So it's this collective mindset. And the only way they're going to get it is by forcing us to do it. And they will do anything necessary to get us to do it, which I'm not going to do it.
Hey, I gotta. You remember the video earlier about the Ecocide thing? Does that mean they're going to arrest all the vegans?
Yes,
they should if they want to play
because like they are the ones most responsible for eco destruction in Ecocide. If we're going to use the words that they use, they are the most responsible for Ecocide, destroying, massively destroying populations of rodents and insects, as well as accelerating factory farming.
Yeah.
So. This is a video of them complaining that they don't have control over the media anymore.
If you go back really not that long ago, as I say, we owned the news. We were the gatekeepers, and we very much owned the facts as well. If it said it in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, then that was a fact. Nowadays, people can go to all sorts of different sources for the news, and they're much more questioning about what we're saying. So it's no longer good enough for us just to say, this is what happened, or this is the news. We have to explain our working. So readers expect to understand how we source stories. They want to know how we go about getting stories. We have to sort of lift the bonnet, as it were, and in a way that newspapers aren't used to doing, and explain to people what we're doing. We need to be much more transparent about how we go about collecting the news.
I'm sorry, but it's a bunch of pontificating elderly suburbanite white women that are talking about controlling the media.
Yeah.
And you can kind of pinpoint where this happened, what she's talking about. So pinpoint it. Go back to where the term fake news comes about, where the term fact checkers comes about, because when there was misinformation, disinformation, when there was a rise in citizen journalists, That's when all that started to come out. Misinformation, disinformation, fact checkers, because citizens were tired of getting force-fed information from the mainstream media. And then they would, usually the mainstream media would get it wrong, then they would have to redact it, but they've already poisoned the people's minds with it. And you see it now. They would say something, sensationalism, they would put it out there, figure out they're wrong, redact it, but the damage is already done. But then these citizen journalists came about. And they was on the ground and they was actually showing truth, unedited information. And then fact checkers come about. And the minute you posted anything from a citizen journalist or anything outside the mainstream media, it was labeled misinformation or disinformation, or it was fact check as half truth or whatever they want to throw at it.
This came about during Occupy Wall Street. This all stems from Occupy Wall Street and how the reporting of that event was happening caused more damage to the system than any other point in time. So if you wanted to pinpoint to when they lost control, it was at Occupy Wall Street. And then they released the Kraken, which was critical race theory.
Yeah.
Because they had to separate the people because the classes were rising up and they said, oh, we're in trouble. And so now here we are with basically the race wars that we've been involved in for the last decade is because of that situation right there. But they're talking about like basic journalistic ethics. Yeah, if you're reporting on a story, you have to cite your sources. You can't just say, hey, I got some rumor from the hobo outside of the White House. He says this, that's my source. No, that's not a legitimate source. I need an actual source. And anonymous sourcing is not a legitimate source. You can just say you got an anonymous source and then it says that, Marlin like beats up little like Pikachus at night, right? That a source close to the matter says, right? A source. I didn't say who that source was, and it's the teddy bear that sleeps next to the Pikachu, right? Could be legitimately my source, and I could say whatever I want with that. But they're being called out for producing fake news, which they then turn on citizen journalists and democratized news. That's what we should call it. Democratized news is decentralized news is now making it harder for them to lie to us. And they don't like that.
No.
The fact that she admits that she had said, we are the gatekeepers of information. We were the ones that were delivering the fact. We were the ones that were doing this and this and this and giving out the information as we deemed fit. I mean, that in and of itself is the base definition of propaganda.
And this reminds me of a little fella back in World War II. That little guy that used to wave his hands around that had, that where he controlled
big
all
mustache,
the media.
small mustache.
Yeah. Little mustache, right there.
It wasn't even him. It was Goebbels. Goebbels was the propaganda master.
It reminds me of that time where this type of stuff was happening. Controlled media, and she's not the first one to say it. It was on Good Morning America. What's her name? Said it. Her and her husband are on the same. Is it Good Morning America? One of those morning news shows. But her and her husband are on the same show, and she said the same thing. She said the people are getting their news from other sources where they should get it from us because we control the information. And only us.
That was Mia.
Mia,
Brzezinski.
Yeah.
Didn't Chris Cuomo also say that too?
Yeah,
he said it about the Hillary document emails. He says it is legal for us to have them. It's just not legal for you to have them. So you need to listen to us when we read them, and we'll tell you what it says. He said that. They have not lost control of the media. They still have control of it. I don't like when they say they've lost control of it. You have not lost control of the media. You have 100% control of the media, and the media has lost control over us.
Yeah. That's what really happened.
That's what it really is.
They have lost control of the smart and the research ability of the citizen. Because now, back in the day, Marlon, or we're the oldest two in here, they used to tell us something on the media, maybe coy, and we just go with it. Yeah. Okay, did you hear about that? But now they tell us something in the media. What is one of the first things we're doing? We're researching it.
Yeah.
We're looking into it ourselves to see if any break or anything they say is not true. And then we start looking for people that were actually on the ground outside of the media, stuff that you can find all over the web. And they are telling a totally different story. We saw it in Maui. We saw what they did in Maui. So they want to control the information. They want to feed people the information. And they're upset that citizens are calling them out and reporting themselves on the truth. That's what they're upset about. It's the same story. We're just telling the truth. It's the same thing. They're lying. We're telling the truth.
Right. It's insane to me that anybody still believes what the governments of the world tell you, because how many things at least in just the last 3 years alone have become truth that used to be conspiracy theories, right? You remember?
Yes.
Like one of the biggest ones being that the UFO thing wasn't real. Like remember how people were made fun of because they were UFO conspiracy theorists? That used to be a moniker of saying, hey, that's somebody's shorthand for crazy. It's like he believes in UFOs, but now it's real. And so is Area 51. So it's insane to me that people look at their government and go, I believe 100% everything they're saying to me.
They're the
100%.
What is their favorite word? The experts.
The experts say, right.
The experts say, well, you know, my thing is, what makes these people experts? How do you know they're an expert? How do you know they even have a degree in journalism? How do you know they're a doctor? How do you know they're a lawyer? Just based off of what they said? Because they're in there up there with a lab coat on and they're talking in front of a camera, feeding you information, and that makes them an expert. How do you know they are who they say they are?
Yeah,
you don't. But people take their word for it, and that's what they want. They don't want us to question anything. But too bad you got guys like us.
It's the position of authority fallacy. That's what people are.
Oh yeah. Appeal to authority. That's what we always do. It's like that's why. This will cause riots.
Hold on, don't play it yet. You know what an expert is, right? An expert is a has-been drip under pressure.
Sounds like
it sounds a
somebody
lot like
who
all of
can't
these
do.
people. Yeah,
somebody who can't do. That's what they say about teachers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, only those that teach can't do.
And those who can't do teach.
Yeah.
And real fast, free play this video on the experts. People have to understand that just because someone went to college for 4 years and studied a bunch of books and, you know, memorized a bunch of information, and in college, I'm not talking about when they leave that and go into their field. I'm talking about in college. All they do is read a bunch of books. You know, all of us can get the same books that they get for their 4-year degree. You can find them everywhere. You can easily look up a syllabus online for any college. Get every single book and study the same exact thing that these so-called experts study. You may not be working in the field because you don't have that piece of paper, but you know the same information. So give the American people a little more credit. There are people out there that actually study this stuff, that get the same books, that get the same information, read it, study it, understand it. So they're not experts. They're just a bunch of people that regurgitate information that they were taught and they claim to be an expert about it.
Right, I give you a great example. Is I barely read any of the textbooks in college, and I got 2 of them on the wall behind me. I'm just saying, like, it's not really that big of a deal. You can learn anything you want to. The internet is vast and full of wonders. It's just people use it for dumb things. Anyway, like I said, this video.
We'll be having our coffee before the session, and you raised the coffee example. I'd love just to give you the chance to expand on that.
Basically, the coffee that we all drink emits between 15 and 20 tons of CO2 per ton of coffee. So we should all know that this is every time we drink coffee, we are basically putting CO2 into the atmosphere. One of the reasons is because most of the coffee plantation, or most of the coffee is produced through monoculture. And monoculture is also affected by climate change. The quality of these nature assets is deteriorating quite rapidly.
So yeah, coffee's a problem too. Coffee's a problem. You want to start a riot under the unwashed masses? Get rid of coffee. I dare you.
But soy cropping is also monocropping, and vegans need that stuff.
Isn't there a certain plant
Ecocide criminals? That's what they are.
Is there what?
Isn't there a certain plant on Earth that helps to counter the amount of CO2 in the air?
Yeah, but they don't. Okay. First of all, there is not enough output of CO2 to cause what they say it's causing. Okay, let's just put this to rest. No scientist, and I mean zero, can come to any conclusion about what we do for farting, cows, anything like that would affect the environment so badly that you need to stop a certain thing, because as we speak, we still have an exponential amount of trees compared to people. And as long as we have that, there will never be an overabundance of CO2.
Yep.
It is not possible.
And spread the word real fast. On that note that Marlon just stated, we need everybody to go out and plant a freaking tree.
Or fart. Go out and fart.
Or fart. You know,
Go for
but
it.
you know, I posted something on Facebook. I think some people might have saw it and follow me. And I said during the ice age, if there was an ice age, you know, I'm still on the fence with that. But during the ice age, how did all the ice melt? And I asked the question. I said, was there a woolly mammoth driving a diesel truck to help? That is the reason why the ice melted. And where I was getting at was, no, it melted because the Earth goes through cycles. Period. It had nothing to do with CO2. How did all that ice melt if we didn't have humans?
Here's the thing that people don't understand about farming because they're stupid, is the fact that the majority of the factory farming and basically the strip farming that they do is they do a monocrop of corn. And what they do is they have acres upon acres, hundreds of thousands of acres, of square acres, that get plowed, planted, and then harvested in a season, right? And then they leave it barren. So they start creating mini deserts in those areas. They don't fill it up with any other crop. They don't fill it with wheat. They don't fill it with any secondary crop to cover the ground. And that is what leads to the expansion of heat, because a non-covered ground, especially with grass or something other green, creates heat because it's the ground. That's what it does, right?
Yeah.
So thermal expansion and all this science stuff that they should know, but they won't tell you. So them advocating for vegans who are very soy-based is more destructive than a cow-based diet, because cows actually help green the fields, right? Because they have to poop, they have to trample the ground, and they stir up the ground naturally in order to create grass, because big herd animals help create grass.
But so what? You're just making too much sense. So stop. The biggest
people
problem,
are dumb. They don't know.
The biggest problem they're gonna have is when the pumpkin spice comes around. And look at people lose their mind. I'm talking about these particular females are already crazy, okay?
And males.
And if you're one of those pumpkin spice
man.
drinkers, I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing for calling you crazy, because you know you're crazy.
Yeah.
If they tell you we don't do coffee no more because environment, watch that place burn. I'm telling you now.
It's gonna be some white girl in UGG boots is gonna burn that place
Wendy's
down.
and BLM ain't gonna have nothing on pumpkin spice latte women, okay? They gonna show up with their candles, their incense, and they're gonna burn your place down while singing Kumbaya.
They all look like Han
okay?
Solo, and they're gonna come in and
The white
They're
shirt
gonna
and
be
the
white
freaking
girls
jacket.
They're gonna be
dressed
coming
like Han
down singing
Solo.
Kumbaya, and they're gonna be singing, and they're gonna be their chants, and they're gonna be, look, it's gonna be interesting to see, hilarious to see, but watch y'all die. I'm just saying, y'all gonna get killed from this thing. These are not regular women. Okay, they will go to the line to get pumpkins, and if you don't have pumpkin spice latte, they will throw stuff at you through the window. You think telling them you will never have coffee and never have pumpkins, you're dead. I'm sorry, but you might as well plan your funeral now. You just plan it. Go ahead.
I don't know what the big hype is with pumpkin spice. I really
there
don't
is no
know.
hype. There is no hype.
It's okay. I mean, it's one of those, like, if you have it with like a spiced drink, it's fine, but like it's seasonal, obviously.
Yeah,
but like,
Linda. Okay, let me do it. Let me do an experiment here. If you are told you're aching for some pumpkin spice, and then they come and tell you you're never going to serve pumpkin spice, and if we catch you with pumpkin spice, we're arresting you on site.
No, you'd literally be called an eco-terrorist if you drink pumpkin spice.
You ain't gonna snap. You're not gonna snap. If they tell me I can't have coffee because they think coffee is bad for the environment, I'm drinking my coffee, first of all, okay? But if you try to take my coffee, you lost your hands. I'm taking your hands back as well as my coffee. So you're going to be without hands and without my coffee. So I'm hoping that you got better. You know, I hope you can fight, because you asking for a fight if you tell me to put up coffee. It's not that I can't give it up, but I want my coffee.
And I know people look at this and they'll say, that's not serious. They would never take away coffee. But they also said that about gas stoves.
Thank you.
Right? Like, we're not going to take away your gas stoves. That's ridiculous. Why would we get rid of your gas cars and gas stoves if it's for climate change? They also are the same people that would murder cows because they fart too much. So remember that.
Guys, here's the thing, though. We have to follow our elites more, because that's the way the plan will work.
But, you know, and on Coy's point, these are the same people that are saying to allow illegals to move into your house.
Yeah.
So they're asking, just think about this. They're asking you right now. They're asking. They're going to be telling us soon. So if these people are willing to ask you to let some stranger move into your house, they'll take away your coffee. They will take your coffee. That's
Oh
nothing.
yeah. So
Yeah,
like
last
I know
video.
it sounds stupid, but it's legitimate because these are the types of people that are dumb enough to do it.
What's this? Let's hear this one.
Why? Because in order to open an account, you need to have an ID.
Right.
And I have to say that when I started this job, there were actually very little countries in Africa or Latin America that had one ubiquitous type of ID. And certainly that it was digital. And certainly that was biometric. And we've really worked with all our partners to actually help that being, to grow this. And the interesting part of it is that, yes, it is very necessary for financial services. But not only, it's also good for school enrollment. It's also good for health, who actually got a vaccination or not. It's very good to actually get your subsidies, from the government. So this has not only effect to the financial services. It's a very important issue.
So we're talking about digital IDs. We're talking about IDs, global IDs. That's what they're talking about.
You want to and I wish I could find it. If I could find it, I'll be a very happy man. Around 2017, 18, I made a video. And in this video, I specifically said that they are going to bring about a passport and an ID for the okay? There was, at the time, people were saying that's so stupid. It's just a flu kind of thing. They're not going to do that. One other channel picked it up, said it too. His channel got deleted. My channel got deleted. Now today, you're seeing exactly that. You got to have a passport for it. You got to have a this for that. And now, okay. And so to Bro's point, it's not going to be a question next time. It's going to be a demand. And they're going to give you a demand with not even with an ultimatum for you to choose better. The ultimatum is one that you cannot choose between for a positive outcome for you. It's comply or die.
Yeah.
So prep. That's all I'm saying. Prep.
Yeah, and I sent you that video, to that point I made about the housing. I sent you that about Klaus Schwab talking about that. You'll not own anything and be happy and blah, 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 blah. And this is what they're going to. Klaus Schwab didn't just say that just, as a buzzword. He means what he says.
Yep.
He means exactly what he says. And this is what they're pushing for. This is what the stuff they show us on camera. That's the stuff they want us to hear. You got to think about the stuff they're talking about off camera in their little meetings, in their little orgies and everything else that they're having. Think about the stuff that they're saying. Yep. This is just that's just a small piece. It is coming. And hopefully not. If more people were defiant and stood up for themselves and stopped just nodding their heads like a little puppy dog in a window that's just going, okay, government, you told me to do it. Please don't take my food, or please don't take my food, or please don't take this. No, screw that.
You just made me
we own this country.
You just made me paint Klaus Schwab in an orgy, man. That meant forever.
You're a horrible human being, Mike. I'm telling you now.
It's just one of the things that they're not even hiding it. Like, people keep saying that the Davos and the WEF is a conspiracy theory, right? There's no agenda by elites to control you. And then we just showed you video of them saying exactly that. And they're like, no, don't believe your lying eyes. That's not actually true. That's not happening.
It's all CGI.
Yeah. And on that point, Coy, how many times have we've said it multiple times? I know on the Hooch at least. Yeah. You can take these people, put them in the WWE. I almost said WWE. Put them in the WEF.
I want to do that too.
Yeah. Put them in the WEF, the front row seat. Let them see it for themselves with their own eyes, and they'll still call it conspiracy theory.
Still a conspiracy. It's just a group of good people trying to do good things for the world.
The good.
Right?
Exactly. They just care about it so much. Oh, man.
It's amazing. They care about all of us.
It's for the good of the good with the good.
For the good of humanity.
All the goods.
All the goods.
All the goods.
It's for the good of humanity. You have to stop eating steak.
In any case, it's going to get interesting in the next couple of years. I'll tell you what, Erica, how about this? How about that? How about we just block you so you don't have to see me on my phone?
Gosh, she's still around.
How about that? How about if I just block you so you don't got to see me doing what I got to do on my phone and I mind my business? How about if I just do that? That'd make more sense. That way I don't got to worry about nothing and you don't either. You don't have to see me on the phone and you don't got to worry about me being on the phone when I can do whatever I want and still be part of the conversation. It's something called that men do. It's called multitasking. Men can do it really well. And I know a few females that can, but men are proficient at it. They are proficient at multitasking, and I can do just exactly that. So you don't need to question it anymore. You'll never have the chance to. So there's your answer.
And real fast, Marlon. Let me chime in real fast, Marlon.
Mm-hmm.
When we're doing this podcast, we still have lives. We still have things that are going on in our life also. Understand that we're doing this and we love doing it. But people like Marlon and I, all of us run multiple pages, and we still got other issues going on. So if we look down at our phone, we're not playing around on it. He's probably looking down on his phone to handle some business.
Even if I'm playing around on my phone, it's my phone, and I can still stay current in the conversation. I don't need people to tell me what I can and can't do.
I'm not telling you what to do.
Y'all are weird. Like, y'all gonna tell me I can't, what I'm supposed to be doing, and why can't I? Man, please, look, y'all just need y'all need something better to do with your time than do something better with your time. But don't come trying to tell me what I can and can't be doing in my look. I can dribble and pat my head and rub my tummy and all that stuff. I can do all that. I'm a multitasker. Okay,
you're a multitasker, yeah.
Oh man, people, please.
I can do it.
In any case, the next thing that's going to come is their demands, and if you don't get the demands, they're gonna have to punish you, and it's coming. So y'all better prep for the punishment and don't get surprised by it. The whole point of what we're doing is to not have you surprised. So when it does come, you'll be like, yeah, I remember they were saying they were going to do this. So here we are.
Yeah.
We're warning you. We're telling you ahead of time.
But
spoiler alerts.
Tomorrow on Straight Talk, we'll be tackling this topic again, but from the other side, not the economic or world side. So make sure you tune into that. And then on Friday, I think we need to discuss the option possibility, maybe perhaps of Nikki Haley doing the Democrat switch.
It's possible.
And possibly running as a Democrat candidate. Now, here's the thing. If she runs as a Democrat candidate on their ticket, it would be a boost that they wouldn't have to bring Mikey in. They could just leave Mikey out, or they can bring Mikey in and have her run as VP. It's a crazy little scenario that they have going on, especially if she has the kind of momentum that she has. She does have momentum. Let's not lie. She has momentum on her side more than the rest. And if they can somehow make her flip from being a Republican to a Democrat, they now have a brand new candidate that people will actually like on the right and left. I'm not saying sensible right people or sensitive left people, just people on the right and left. So
they are trying
but I know we're about to get on, but the WEF, just understand there are a lot of American politicians there too. Don't get it twisted, because we were showing you a bunch of Europeans from countries that people probably don't even know where they're at. There are Americans there. And I will tell you one that everyone is talking about in Texas. He is a member of the WEF. Though everybody's, talking about how great he's doing with the border, I'll give him props. He's doing what he has to do for his state. But don't be fooled. Greg Abbott is a member of the WEF. Facts.
Yep. And we'll be covering the border tomorrow on the Hooch, because we didn't get to it yesterday as well. Whatever else we're going to cover tomorrow, what happens to be trending, we shall see.
So we'll catch up then. Don't go too far away. Too Strong is also dropping a whole bunch of videos this week, so make sure you keep your eye out for that. We might be going live on Monday, and when I tell you we have a bombshell story, no one else has. Anywhere else on earth has this story. Literally nobody else has what we're going to bring for you. And I mean that with all sincerity. It's going to be the kind of stuff that if it doesn't go viral, it will prove that what's going on in the media and censorship is completely 100% real. Court documents, statements, witnesses, all of it. We have something that will blow the lid off of everybody's hide. And when you hear it, you're going to be like, I had never heard that before, because you would have never heard it before. This is the very first. And we are going to be the ones to be breaking it, just so you're aware. So be a lookout, keep your eye out on Too Strong, and make sure you get ready for when we do go live. We'll drop a teaser video for you to marinate on the weekend, but we'll be, we're gonna talk about that. So anyway,
are we rumbling this Saturday?
We are rumbling this. Oh no, we can't rumble this Saturday. I'm tired of this Saturday, but we can rumble next Saturday.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah,
sounds good.
I won't be. My plan is to not be tied up on the weekends anymore, so I'll be able to do them every other week from here on out. So, next Saturday, not this coming one, but next Saturday we'll have it. All right. So we'll catch up then. So don't forget, check out our merch store, because it got some good stuff in there. We gotta drop some new stuff on there. And if you did buy some merch, send them to our inbox so we can make a little montage of it and send it out for everybody to see. Okay, we need to get that figured out. So that you don't mind, please do. Mr. Lee,
Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will catch y'all Fridays.
peace.